Hello my friend, welcome back to More Sporting. I'm Pat Moore, and today we're going to talk about adding a do-it-yourself pocket to the side of your kayak. We're going to use these pockets that I bought off of Amazon. They're designed for remote controls, but I'm putting scent in these pockets, and so I don't want to use a fabric because it's going to get covered in goo. And so we're gonna go with these plastic pockets, and I want to be able to take them on and off the kayak as needed. And so to do that, we're going to incorporate the gear track as our connecting mechanism. Now, obviously, I will link below where I got these pockets on Amazon, and they come in all sorts of different sizes. This just happens to be the size that fits a remote control and or your cell phone. Now, the base of this pocket system is going to be ABS plastic. I use it because it's easy to form. You can heat it and bend it and do whatever you need to, and it's easy to mill. You can cut it out in any shape that you want. And so, yeah, that's what we're going to start with, and we're gonna make a substrate that these pockets can adhere to. Right now, I'm just working out what the dimensions are, and so the width of the thing is right around 10.5 inches. You can adjust it depending on if you want space between your pockets or the size of your pockets, obviously. But if you're going to replicate this one exactly, about 10.5 inches for the length. Right now, I'm just going to mark where I'm going to bend this plastic, so I'll heat it and bend it so it fits on the gear track, and you'll see that further on in the video. I'm going to mark that fold with dotted lines just so it's obvious that, hey, that's where you're going to fold it. Once I've marked out where I want to fold this, then we're also going to go around and mark the perimeter of the plastic so I can cut it out on my bandsaw and get ready to bend it. Now, as far as the height of these pockets go, I'm just eyeballing this, right? I'm just putting them on there and thinking, I think it looks pretty good right about here, yeah. And so, yeah, it's just totally my opinion. And so you can do whatever you want, but it measures out to 7.5 inches. Once I have my dimensions marked, I'm going to go ahead and take it over to the bandsaw, and we're going to cut it out. Hey, while I'm chopping this up right here, might be a good time for you to give me a like if you think that this is cool. And if you're going to use this, definitely ought to be worth a like. And you know, if you don't like it or you think there's something I should improve, leave a comment. I would appreciate that even more. Now I noticed that on either side of the gear track, this unit was going to interfere with the rod holder and also my USB power bank. So I thought, all right, well, I'll just cut a reveal out of both sides, and I just freehanded this. You know, it's a kayak. It doesn't need to be measured out all that carefully. Wait till you see how I bevel the corners. You'll love that. Yeah, so I'm just going to freehand this on there. I did go through the effort of measuring them at least so that they're the same size on both sides. But yeah, that was the extent of my caution here. See, look, that's perfect. And believe it or not, I actually double checked my measurements. Yeah, it's perfect. Well done, Pat. All right, now I'm prepping to put the heat bend in this, and to do that, I'm going to put a solid piece on the back. In this case, it's aluminum, piece of scrap aluminum I had laying around. I'm just going to clamp that in place where I want to bend the plastic, so I have something to bend it around. Then I'm going to throw it in the vise here, and I'll find another piece of scrap aluminum that I can use to actually bend the plastic with, because it's going to be really hot. And I could use gloves, but I have to go look for gloves. I'm not up for that. to use this other piece of scrap aluminum to just press it over, and I'm going to get it at 90 degrees. I know that that's going to be too far, that the edge of my kayak isn't a 90-degree angle, but I'll heat it back up once I have it on the kayak, and that way it'll conform to the actual kayak's dimensions. So yeah, we're just going to put it on here about 90 degrees and call it good. Now my next step is to adhere the pockets to the plastic, and I'm doing that with the foam tape that came with them. So when I open that package up, you saw a bunch of foam tape come flying out. That's what I'm using to attach them to the ABS plastic. And if you know me, you know that I hate double stick tape. It does not hold up. It gets hot, it smears, it slides. It's not a permanent affixing device. But they will be permanently affixed to the plastic when I'm done, and you'll see how I do that. All right, now that we've got the pockets foam taped in place, that's all that foam tape's doing, is holding them in place until I do this, which is to drill some holes in both sides. And it's probably best if you make a little pilot hole first, but again, I don't have time for that. We'll just poke a hole in it here. And now for the permanent fixture, which is this super expensive high-tech device, and they call them zip ties. Half my kayak is put together with zip ties. But they work really well. They're lightweight and they hold really well. And so these are going to hold it in place until that foam tape completely cures. And then from then on, it'll hold them in place permanently. We're going to drill some holes now. All right, once we have all the holes drilled in there, we're just going to go through and put our zip ties in, and then we'll use our side cutters to snip the tag ends free from the zip ties. Make sure you snip those flush. If you don't, they're kind of a sharp edge, and every time you go to put something in or out of that pocket, you're going to scrape your fingers and get really angry. Ask me how I know. Anyway, make sure you trim them off flush because it's the right thing to do for comfort's sake. Now, wait till you see my high-tech solution for beveling the edges here. Yeah, a pair of tin snips. You know, you can cut this ABS plastic really easy, and I'm just beveling them back. I'm putting a 45-degree angle on them just so that those corners don't catch your line and everything else that passes by. It's just nice to, and it, gives it a nice clean look too, actually. So I just go through and snip all the corners off, and now it looks finished, sort of. I need to drill a hole next. But in order to drill the hole in the right spot, I thought, well, it'd probably be a good idea to put this actually on the kayak and then put a mark on it that tells me exactly where the gear track will be, so I can make sure that I drill the hole as close to the logical place as possible. Now, you can see how closely I have measured this. Totally eyeballing it, freehanding it. Yeah, that's the way I build stuff. And I'm going to drill a hole in there that's slightly oversized anyway, so it doesn't have to be exactly perfect, and I'm pretty good at eyeballing stuff, so typically works out just fine. Now, for all you people who thought I was going to drill directly into my bench top, I thought better of it. I went and got a wood block and stuck it underneath there, so I didn't do that. I was going to. I said, yeah, that's probably not a good idea. So there we go. We got our hole drilled in the top of the unit now. That's what's going to hold it onto the gear track. All right, now I already had a T-bolt that's in the gear track. I had a smaller 2-pocket system in there. I wanted to put the 3-pocket system in, and so it was already in the gear track. And you can get those off of Amazon pretty inexpensively. It's best if you purchase stainless steel ones. You can see that one's not stainless steel and it's rusting on the top. It's not the end of the world, but it's just nice to have stainless steel on every piece of device that you have on your kayak. I would make that your standard operating procedure, stainless steel. Now I'm compressing the whole unit down a little bit here so that I can get the nut on the T-nut there, and then I'm going to heat it up so that it bends and conforms directly to the kayak. Now I could say this would have been a really good time to actually go source a pair of gloves. You know, they're just on the other side of the garage, but no, I decided I'm going to sit here and bake my hand for 10 minutes to get it in the right shape. I got through it. It wasn't too painful. Another thing that I like to do is make sure that I don't need to use a tool for things that I might remove during the normal day of fishing. In this case, I might think those are in the way, so I might want to remove them, in which case I'm always going to use a hand knob in those situations so that I can remove stuff as I need it. And also, if it's anything that I need to take off to clean on a regular basis, which I'll also probably want to do with these pockets, again, you don't want to have to go find a tool to do it with. That's the equivalent of having to go look for your gloves on the other side of the garage. You want to just be able to take it apart. So yeah, I use a hand knob, and I think that gives it a nice clean look too. Well, there you go. Now you get an idea of where that sits in the kayak, and we're going to go ahead and drop our scents down inside there so you can see how they all fit. And there you go. Fully functional, waterproof, and washable pockets. And there you go. That ought to be worth a like and a comment. All right, that's what we got for you today. I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for coming back to the channel.